All right.
Hello.
What's going on?
Divil a bit yourself. We need some kind of intro like they have on Syntax.
Yeah, well, it's Monday morning. Everyone's miserable.
I'm not
I don't think I
miserable.
can do. I don't think I can just be as chirpy. Maybe I can. Let's find out. Well, next time we'll work on something. We'll ask AI to say what is an over the top introduction I can give at the start of these things. But you could definitely do it. But again, they have this pre-recorded for them as well. We should probably do that. That's what our intro should be. It's just this mad over the top thing.
I think that we can do this without AI. I believe in us. We don't need AI for everything.
I think no, that's my job now. My job is just copying and pasting from AI.
Or else it just replace us. I should point out that I still have no internet. Still using the hotspot on my phone because my internet service provider has not fixed my internet yet, which is quite annoying. So I might.
At least they sent out a technician to tell you needed a technician.
Yeah, a technician came on Friday and was like, "Yeah, it's not working." Great.
Captain Obvious strikes again.
Yeah, it's definitely not working. Anyway,
funny.
Hopefully they'll get out here soon and fix it. But yeah, the hotspot's been pretty good.
Yeah, let's see how long it lasts.
Good morning, Garrett.
All right, what are we doing today, JP? What do you need from me to kick off this week? Dylan's here as well.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dylan.
Morning, Dylan. Yeah, well, I've been going through the issues for the editor, and I've started to break it down. I was just texting Daniel, and he said he'd come on to the show. I was going to say he'd come on to the stream next week with us, but he's busy this week.
Professional show.
The editor basically was Daniel's baby last year. I don't know if it was specifically for Hacktoberfest or it was just an issue he was working on over quite a while. But he's implemented basically most of the editor as is. We just want to kind of refine it a bit more, and that's what we're working on at the moment, creating issues around that.
All right, let me open up GitHub here and take a little look to see where we are. So nobody's going to be able to see that. So let me zoom in. All right, so we have some issues open. This is all stuff. I think Carolina opened up an issue last night as well.
Yeah. And Edward, if you're watching, Ed, that we met on Friday, he opened up an issue too.
Oh yeah, here he is. So we have to remove the preview buttons, the meta issue editor, Carolina Cobo. Modify issues description to hide instructions. This is a really useful one. You can just add like descriptions basically inside this stuff so that you don't have to delete it in the README. It's just like a comment inside the README.
Comment, yeah.
Which is pretty useful. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know why I didn't think so. But this could be just useful because we do have a couple of notes on how to do things. So commenting all our notes would probably be useful just so people don't have to delete them. They can just add to them at least.
Yeah.
Again, a beginner friendly. I told Carolina that she is not allowed to take the beginner issues now. She has to.
She's a big girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Carolina's been doing this. She comes in and Hacktoberfest, takes a couple of the small issues. She's like, 3 commits, I am out. See you next year.
But I'm still allowed to take the beginner issues, right?
No, you're also not allowed to beginner issues.
I'm still technically.
In fact, anyone on the Kodu team is not allowed to take the beginner issues because you're all lazy.
We're issue makers, not issue fixers.
Yeah, well, I am definitely the issue maker for sure. All right, so then this other one that we spotted last night, the double outlines on the inputs themselves. So we pulled in those components from Tailwind UI and the Tailwind Catalyst UI package. And what we noticed was there is 2 outlines when you click in. And that
Yeah,
and the same.
I replied to this comment actually to this issue. So for that one specifically, I had tried to overwrite the existing styles by passing the styles as class names as a prop to the component, because if you remember that this username field in particular has the prefix of kodu.co before it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to square off the corners, and that's how this has happened. But Carolina says it happens on all the inputs, which is, I don't know if that's the expected behavior.
It is happening on all the inputs, because that's what I was seeing last night as well when we were looking at this. So I don't know why that. Let me see, current behavior. This is just not. This happens with our own Markdown editor. I think some of this is we'll have to do. Yeah, see, like the inputs here should look like this, but they end up having this double line on it, and the drop down itself has like a white outline instead of the blue focus outline as well. Little things, and then it's linked to here, because you can see.
Again, those are the obviously the original Catalyst components, which I haven't edited in any way. So I don't know if it's expected behavior or.
I don't think so, and that's just simply because we are having. There's something's changed, and I don't know what it is. So we'll have to have a look afterwards anyway. But not to digress, because this is, again, we're just making issues. We don't have to solve them right now.
Yeah, well, I think it could be contradicting with one of the styles in the Kodu project.
Yeah, and we looked into basically the when you add styles to Catalyst, it's like a wrapper around the input that you get to restyle. So some of those things you're adding, like you might be duplicating styles, and I bet that's why we end up having 2 borders rather than a single one, because the styles applied are going elsewhere, if that makes sense.
I guess it's those CSS directives.
I'll show you the code app. Yeah, I'll show you classes afterwards. It could be those directives as well, so we might play around with that. It's an interesting one.
I think those directives are I read something where the Tailwind creator is not happy with some of those, because the at apply specifically for this reason, because they can interfere with styling elsewhere.
Yeah.
Unintended consequences.
Yeah, makes sense. No, I get it. But a directive actually might fix our left-hand problem now. I think it's an actual hack that we might override. What else will be there? Years of experience, field onboarding form. But Parallax. Gee, we have lots of issues open up now.
Yeah, a lot of them are really kind of simple ones, to be fair. So I'm just adding them bit by bit as I go along. The meta editor. Or maybe we can talk about Ed's issue.
Okay.
The supplemental information for README. It's the second from the top. Yeah. So Ed was at the Indie Hackers event on Friday, and we were having a chat. We were just basically going through the README, because he was thinking that he's going to contribute something for Hacktoberfest. And he was just a little bit confused by the scripts for the drizzle for DB push and DB seed. So he wasn't sure where that was coming from, and we opened package.json, and I showed him where the scripts were. So he said he'd make an issue and he'd explain it in the README, basically, which is something you like to point out to people as well, is that if you create an issue, that is a green tick for you on GitHub.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, and it's like a lot of people think they have to do a lot more to just get those little green boxes, and in reality, most of the time, all you have to do is just create an issue. You get a little green box for creating an issue on a repository as well. That doesn't mean spam us with issues, but it is useful to know that it is counted as a contribution to just create an issue as well. So even if you're not confident enough about fixing the issue, we have people like Shane who are phenomenal at finding out problems in our code, and he's like, I don't know how to fix it, but here you go. and it's really useful.
That is a very useful skill as well. Absolutely.
So
testing, finding those issues.
Add more content when you're trying to code is doing in the README. This could be useful. I'm not sure how verbose we want to go because I don't want to get overly long either. But the step-by-step works. Depends from questions starting out, setting up the environment. We might even link off. It might be useful to link off to an article explaining what this stuff does.
What scripts are, or
like, yeah, you know, like teaching people some of the concepts that we use in things. Because I guess if a README is just meant to be a quick getting started guide, and it assumes certain knowledge as well.
Well, I mean, that is the current pattern in the README, is that specifically, say, for the ENV, it gives a breakdown of what ENV you should add, but there's also a link to the bottom of the README, which explains in more detail about that, and also for Docker as well. I think the more information, the better in the README. I found it really helpful at the start, so I guess the same could be said for anyone.
Yeah, because we have like the prerequisite skills to contribute, documentation, Markdown, React. You know, like we try to be good here, but we don't actually have Drizzle in here anymore, or at all. So even linking to those resources are very useful, saying like what skills are useful here. Yeah, definitely a useful issue for us to review. And
yeah, well, actually, I've been planning to do a video where I basically go through the README, and I'm just going to delete the code base and start fresh, clone it, install the dependencies, and set up the environment variables. Basically, just step by step what's in the README. So,
you know what I noticed, which would be a good way to start from as well, because often you don't even have the right plugins or extensions, you know, to help yourself through that. And something I was playing around with last night, I was going to make a little article on it today because I didn't realize this was a feature. Let me see if I can find my. So let's go. Let me share this as well. So you probably can't see this here now anyway, but this is all the settings I have in my ligatures. I was writing a little thing on ligatures. This is going to be tiny, so you're not meant to be able to see this. But what I have is profiles now that I updated, and I'm going to say a stream profile. Now I have pre-settings for all my zoom in and everything else as well. And I can zoom in more. I can alter this. So I still think this looks probably a little bit small. So we can up the font size, or maybe whatever. Or even the zoom level here, we can put that up to 8. I don't know why it's not updating straight away, but it should be.
Yeah.
But you can have different profiles as well. So you could start a brand new profile on VS Code, and you would be able to check to see what is the what are the best, like what our extensions don't automatically imply, or can we pull in like VS Code settings for people as well?
That's really cool.
So I'm setting it up for like making shorts now. So I wanted to have one profile for doing shorts, one profile for streaming, so it's consistent, and you can add themes, you can add plugins, everything for those specific profiles. But I think it's just nice if you're, rather than getting some of the help from the extensions that you might have installed, just go into your profiles here on the bottom right. You can change your profiles here and just click the tick and you're in.
Yeah, that's actually really handy. I knew it existed, but I've never implemented it or anything. Like I have workspaces. I have different settings for different workspaces, but this is another level of that, I guess.
But it's more I'm more likely to use this because I can just go in and click around. So depending on what I'm doing, I can share this among many projects or whatever else. Again, zooming in for like TikToks and shorts was going to be different. So I have this in here, and we might, want to have a better zoom or whatever else on this stuff.
Yeah, VS Code's really customizable, which is awesome. You can do so much with it. And I think I mentioned this I was talking with Shane about this recently, but I'm colorblind. So at the start I had really, I couldn't see the difference in the diff colors, that it has that light green by default.
But that's interesting. I didn't know that.
I went into settings and I changed all the colors so that they're very contrasting, especially say, if you've got your different file names can be different colors based on whether they're tracked, they're untracked, or whether there's an error or whether there's a warning. So I changed all those colors so that they stand out easily to me. It only took a second, but it's really helpful for me anyway.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's smart.
And I guess I've just started learning Python as well for college. So I'd imagine a different profile for Python would also come in handy. You can turn off all the extensions.
Yeah, because sometimes they get a bit. Yeah, sometimes they get a bit overwhelming when you have all of the extensions assigned to absolutely everything. Because there's just so many extensions.
I have the Stripe extension. I keep meaning to disable it because it's thrown errors. If I ever open a project which is not including Stripe, it's throwing errors all over the place. It's annoying me. So that's just reminded me to turn it off.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. And then see. What else are we want to what I did last week, which I was sad about, is I created I did a lovely drawing of what I expected from the jobs board, and that's not there. So I might have to do by the end of this stream another little drawing of the jobs board to add as an issue.
I was just thinking this morning as well that you absolutely denigrated my designs last week. So you promised you would have work on new designs for this week. And I'm sure you have, obviously.
I did not. This is why I need to be on these streams to be accountable to actually get things done.
Well, I wouldn't call you out on it. Only you, the things.
No, always call me out. I would call you out on it instantly. So,
if you hadn't been so harsh, I would have let it slide. But
no, always give it back. I deserve it for sure.
Yeah, no, it would be good. Even just a general wireframe of what we're looking for before Hacktoberfest. Because I was thinking as well, like a lot of these issues are like beginner friendly, easy, good first issues. So like nearly if we got someone on board who has a bit more experience and they were willing to work on a bigger issue, it's nearly easier to communicate with them one-to-one rather than creating little small issues here and there.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But like again, it's breaking those issues down, because if people like can't continue or whatever else, then at least you can hand it off to people as well. So like there is a bit of work in creating good issues. This is just the whole software design problem as well. If you're working on big projects, you have to get good at breaking down problems so that you don't have a bottleneck depending on one person to finish something. That you can say, right, that person's struggling, that person's gone on holidays or whatever else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See Garrett saying the profiles, having the Stream Deck is useful. And funny enough, I do have a Stream Deck that I've been playing with. That's the little touchscreen buttons that I have on my desk that you've seen the last time you were up, JP. But yeah, the Stream Deck is great for having all those profiles and things. I think there's a Stream Deck app that you can use as well on your phone that just does all that for you as well.
That's not the same. You need that physical. I've been actually Shane first introduced me to the Stream Deck last year, and when I seen it, I was like, I want that, because just that graphical interface. Well, I was just even thinking for simple things like, say, Command Shift F12 is to find all references in VS Code. I'd really love to have that as a single button.
I think I have it's not working. Oh, great. I was going to say I have a shortcut for the terminal. I'm clicking it. It's not working. So clearly that's going great.
Control and tilde opens the terminal.
Yeah. But I have a shortcut on my Stream Deck right in front of me that I was trying.
Okay. And it's not working.
And it's not working. I have to do a manual shortcut there. Yeah, that shortcut.
Yeah, failed. I guess as time goes on, I'm getting better with the Mac shortcuts, so it's less of an issue, but I'd still like a Stream Deck.
All right. So what else are we missing then? So what are the ones that I need to put my own input on now, or the ones I was meant to do designs on?
Well, the ones you were talking about doing the design for was basically the course platform, which I had done on the Excalibur. I'd done a certain amount of designs.
Is there an issue open?
No, there's no issue open for that yet. Again,
okay,
so taking a step back, I kind of hope to focus on the editor specifically today so that we can get those issues out of the way and I can start creating all those issues from them. And then we can move on to the course platform, because there's certain things within the editor that kind of rely on each other before we can create the issues.
Yeah.
You want to go to the course platform, do it so. Jump to the course platform. I think this
is a good point. Dylan's asking, with the new project with the meetings that you're thinking of open sourcing, would you consider making it so people that write tests after they add a feature fixed to keep the code coverage up? You know what? This is another point that we should probably address that we have not talked as in. They're great first issues for folks as well, is we could be making a whole suite of test issues for Kodu to get test coverage up, and then tests with Playwright, etc. And I think, yes, we should be doing that anyway. I am the biggest hypocrite here when it comes to this topic, because I'm always an advocate for testing, except, I just end up driving forward without writing tests for my code. And the first version of the meeting or the meetup open source, so for context, I'm building a meetup replacement that's going to be open source. And I, of course, haven't even got a test suite added to the thing yet, because of course it's broken. So it's known broken now, but there is going to be a lot of effort on getting that test suite set up. I do think we should probably add a lot of issues on testing. So JP, that's another big issue that we could look at. Like, what are the main flows of the screen or main flows of the app, and how do we get some like Playwright end-to-end testing running for our like integration tests before we merge? Like, there is even the authentication flow, making sure that logins still work, making sure that pretty much every flow in the app, like creating a post, saving a post, viewing a post, all these things we have in our app are all issues that people could set up with Playwright, and you wouldn't even need to have a very big knowledge of Next.js to be valuable as well as an open source contributor then as well, because obviously increasing tests is invaluable for all this stuff.
Yeah, there's a
so Dylan, you've opened up a bigger can of worms here when we're thinking of like the Kodu project itself is something we started. We've been very bad at doing, but I think if we got the code coverage up to a certain level, it would be very easy to say to people, oh yeah, don't forget to update the tests as well. Right now, we don't have the code coverage, so it's very hard to say, well, just do it like the other tests. And that becomes the main issue when you're trying to show people how to do things and help people with testing, etc. They need to see patterns of how it's done as well. So yeah, how that's going to open up a whole, like, probably about 20 more issues.
Yeah, that's absolutely its own box, probably. It's its own feature.
Yeah, we might make another parent issue with testing to be tested, and then add a lot of child links to it. But I do think we'll probably need to give an example of how to do testing if we want newcomers to the project to do it as well,
Well, I'm going to have to admit now, I've never written a test.
All right. Well, I think that is a great place to start. Is you should be writing the first test and then documenting what you needed to do to set it up as well. I have tests in there. I can walk through with you. There's probably no point in this stream, or we'll end up digressing into testing, and that's probably not as productive as talking about testing.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. Testing is important. It's just something I haven't gotten around to yet, but I will. Obviously, It's going to be coming soon.
Yeah, look, it's something that we needed to get as well. There you go. Look at this. Happy to write tests. I'm free. It made sense for coder. Nice. That wasn't since the way you made it easy possible for beginners. Yeah, look, I think the project's getting to the maturity level now where we have to balance both of these things. And even if somebody's unable to write tests, that we just help them out on the issue and say, hey, here's how you write a test. Even if they fix the feature and don't know about tests. Look, I get caught on this quite a few times where I've contributed something and I get caught by the tests or not writing tests. So it's again, just making sure that the issues say tests are failing or this needs to be updated. And it's a lot more manageable when it's only like testing your own little feature or your own little updates that you're modifying existing tests to now take into account. For instance, we have the magic link login, I think, or the email login. We have the GitLab login coming soon. We have GitHub login. That's 3 big authentication issues that could all fail in their own right, depending on API changes or anything else. So getting those set up would be very valuable to make sure that it's all working as expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we will make an issue on that for sure. That's that's
specifically around the authorization, GitHub.
That's how everything is progressing. Just start writing tests. Correct. So again, this is what happens when you have limited time, limited hours of the day. But it is something we just need to get more, just better at doing, more expected from ourselves, expected from other people, especially now that we're coming into this. We should probably setting up lots of tests. I know Carolina is fantastic at doing her playwright tests as well. So she'll probably be a good person to set up some of the patterns for this as well. And she's very good at thinking how to break things as well, which helps.
So yeah, you'll have to assign Carolina then.
Yeah, for sure.
When you mentioned GitHub and mentioned the login, I was just when I was making that issue for the GitLab login, I was just looking through the code and I see that there is actually previous reference to an email login that was added.
But and that's been waiting on the onboarding form because we couldn't add that email login without the onboarding form, because if you logged in with email, you had no profile. Whereas before with GitHub and GitLab, you could infer certain details because you could grab the person's name, a username, and create some sort of profile out of them automatically. Whereas with an email, there is no profile whatsoever. So you need that onboarding form to say, here's my username, here's my full name or whatever else, and add that to the login process, basically.
Yeah.
That is something that was done last year as well.
Email login once the onboarding form is complete. But the John Allen did that, I think, did he? So like, I think it's pretty much ready to go. Probably just
it is ready to go once we have the onboarding finished. I was saying that for getting the onboarding finished, we just need to have a couple of issues. We might get them done even in the next week without waiting for Hacktoberfest. Like even the username and whatever else, we can just throw it off into like get rid of the like fancy styling of having kodu.co/ beside that input and just picking a drop down select of a few things and then fix all of the other stuff. But again, there's another great example of something that would be really valuable to have end-to-end tested to make sure that we don't, that all the error handling works as expected and that all of the buttons and everything are working and saving and everything else, because for every page on that, there is something that can go wrong.
Yeah, but I wrote that code, so there's nothing.
Well, that's why you definitely needs to be tested then. My laptop will go on fire when I run through it.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. Can we specifically talk about the issues around the, can you, do you have Kodu code base running in the background in the dev server?
No,
you
I
can
will
open the
get
alpha
that running
editor.
now.
I would share my screen, but I think I might drop with lag with the, because I don't have internet.
I need to just run my Docker instance.
So yeah, when you get that up and running, it's things I'm specifically looking to clarify, even though we've gone over this before, but I just want to make absolutely sure, because we're going to be removing the toolbar, which is currently part of the editor. And the toolbar has quite a few features on it. There's maybe too many features. We want to cut back and make it as simple as possible. So a few of those, we want to remove that toolbar as it is, and have all of the editing features either accessible through a slash or a tooltip. But also, we're looking at the possibility of including certain markdown features, such as H2, H3, bullet points, and
yeah, like markdown shortcuts, basically.
Yeah, but it's still be keeping it as a WYSIWYG editor so that everything just is as you see it.
Yeah, and this is how like Notion and things does it as well, where it's, if you put in # space, it'll be a heading. It doesn't, like, once you press enter, it treats it as the way it will look at things, which I like. So what are we doing here? You want to have a look at a certain page on this?
Yeah, if you go to new alpha, or is it alpha new? Which is it?
Alpha new.
New alpha new, yeah.
And that's something else that Carolina brought up last night, is it's not clear that we have an alpha section at all.
Yes, I didn't know for quite a while what the alpha section was about, and yeah, the alpha section is
I've done an
alpha.
Butcher.
The alpha section is for new features which haven't been added to production yet, so they're just
it's like a kitchen sink right now of just things we're messing with behind the scenes. It's never on the production release.
Yeah, so it's a protected route. You can't get there, right? I guess, is that the way it works?
Yeah.
So can you zoom in a little bit? Yeah, perfect. Right. So this toolbar at the top, if you want to point that out, basically all of these options here, we want to remove this toolbar completely and have everything that is. So we're also going to remove the preview button. So right now in the editor, you can add all these different styles and any of these with the tooltip or with the toolbar. But if you want to actually see how the document is going to look when it's posted, you have to press the preview button that's there in the top right. So we want to remove that and basically have it so that as you type and add something, it will be as it appears.
So you're talking here, we're going to remove this completely.
Yeah. And an issue will be then to remove that, but also to remove the code and the extensions that are involved.
Yeah, because there's
that we don't
little things that we want to, like, again, the alignment, for instance. I don't want any alignment available on these things, the squared and cubed or whatever things here, probably not useful. The table, and this is more so following the pattern of give less options but more useful options, because people figure out the same as like numbered lists, probably not that important, because you've bullet points, or you can just like number your headings. Really, numbered lists can look a bit weird. I don't even know what this is.
I don't know either.
Vote might be useful. Strike through, probably get rid of that as well. Nothing, not that useful. So like some of the inspiration for this is the Medium editor, because it's an editor I really like using. Just I don't like the platform itself, because of all the paywalls, etc., and everything, all that other fun stuff. So
on the YouTube there comments, I just stuck in a link to the Excalidraw if you or anyone else wants to look at it. But so we have the expected markdown features that are on the Excalidraw are H2, H3, bullet points, code blocks, inline code, and those are the ones that are included in it for now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you press slash there, and we'll go through what in the slash menu needs to be changed or needs to be kept.
Okay, so
because I think the slash menu is pretty good. Like it has everything that's needed on there. It's just
yeah, it's good. Yeah, this is pretty much everything we want. Heading, subheading. I think that's good. I think we could probably leave that. The only extra we need is adding in like media, or images.
Yeah, so that's
images and media.
That'll be a whole separate issue for someone with a bit more experience, I guess.
Well, we can link the existing upload APIs and things. It's not like somebody has to make an API for this stuff, or even the media logic. We do have that elsewhere. It is a case of just exposing it in this new editor now.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't looked into this at all. I have no idea how TipTap works, so I'm going blind on it. But yeah, so what we'll be talking about here is that on that toolbar at the top, we need to remove it completely, and anything that isn't including it in this slash bar, in this slash menu, needs to be the extensions and code around them needs to be removed as well.
Yeah.
So that is one issue.
Kind of, and then we also have the whole, if you highlight something, we have
the tooltip
here, which is okay. The link probably needs to be over here. We get rid of the strike through. I'd say replace the strike through with the link.
Yeah, so I already have some notes about this. So we'll remove the strike through, as you've noticed. So we're adding an icon instead of text for the link, which is, as you can see, it says text in link, but it really should be an icon of some sort. It was there that you were saying to add that image and media icon functionality. And
the link here, the link stuff is enough. I still think for the media, we'd probably just use this drop-down list
slash menu,
bigger things, because it's a whole section formatting,
So okay, so I'll move that.
Unless
the media functionality to the slash bar then instead.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have replace text with H2, H3, T for text. I don't know how you feel about that. That's well.
Yeah, I'm probably going, like, I want to have a big heading, small heading, basically. Heading, subheading. I don't want to have to think whether it's H2 or H3. I just don't know what the best way to do this is. So that's why heading and subheading are perfect here. And I think we're going to leave it like that. And even when we have like here, text, heading, subheading, that's perfect. And when we get rid of this, it won't make a difference anyway.
So you're saying that on the tooltip, if you go back to the tooltip there for a second and you click the text button, do you want to leave all of those options as is?
Yes, heading, subheading, brilliant. Leave them as is, because this stuff makes you have to think H2 or H3, because this is an SEO thing. We do have one H1, and then we have H2s and H3s that you can use in the body of the text. But again, for somebody using this tool, doesn't really matter. You know, it's it's something behind the scenes. Now I know you could override that by adding a H1 right there, and maybe we allow that because that's a way that you might purposefully want to override those things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I guess now is the time to decide if it's a maybe or a definitely.
Yeah, well, I think so I think leave those markdown shortcuts for overriding certain things, because that way, if you need to opt out, you can. Just we need to make sure that we have the styles.
Is that what they are? When you highlight the tooltip there and click text, those are markdown features, are they?
Well, this is what here.
What's going on there?
Well, look, I rather than going into this, I don't think there's point in explaining this right now. This is all tip tap. You need to dive into the docs and see how it's all rendered and everything else. And rather than I would just bring you over to the docs now and show you tip tap and the stuff. Because this is where you're going to find all the answers on that. You know, on what way it's rendered.
To be honest, I have skimmed these briefly, but I haven't really gotten into it, how it works.
Yeah,
but it's so highly customizable.
That's why I just wouldn't really go into this too much. There is lots of things that you can do in here on the editor, and how it renders is an option. It is just a big long JSON config, basically. It's an AST or a tree of nodes, and that's how it all makes it work. So this is like, it's worth attaching tip tap docs to any issues to do with the editor so people can see where this is. But yeah, yes, actually, this is an option. It is an option in here to do like markdown shortcuts or markdown rendering, basically, even though it will not save it as markdown. It saves it as its own format. So that's where you can do certain things, but don't think of it as markdown really. It's markdown-like in the syntax, but not really markdown.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think we've covered pretty much what I need to know before I can start making issues on the slash menu.
So, because I know we were discussing last week on the H2, H3, on the what this should look like, etc. But the thing we want to make sure is then that we just make sure that the visual side of this as well, the preview actually looks like the end article as well.
Well, there won't be a preview. I've already made an issue to remove the...
Yeah, I understand that, but the current styling in here is wrong anyway.
Okay, yeah. So that's...
because the preview is closer to the actual rendering of the thing. So
yeah, so that actually reflects it, right?
Yes. So it's an actual reflection of the thing. So it should nearly look like our existing articles, even though I'm probably going to update those things anyway. But it should look more like our existing articles pages anyway, as you type.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the whole just removing the preview isn't a good answer. It's making it the WYSIWYG. So what you see is what you get. In case anyone doesn't know what WYSIWYG is, making this reflect what we're actually going to see better, or else it defeats the purpose of making this all WYSIWYG anyway.
Yeah, I guess I had been thinking of that as a separate issue. But
we can, yeah. Well, it's no problem, because I think we could probably end up getting into a whole browse issue, because how we write blog articles isn't there existing. There's a whole theme of browse that we have to update for articles, I think. That's the whole, like, it might be restyling the blog to make more sensible H1s, H2s, H3s, etc. And it should be all fairly straightforward, he says, before it all falls apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
The other really thing then is the media, how we handle the media.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out now that we do have a way of handling, like, upload image, and hence why even taking this and pushing it over to the new editor, like the upload image feature shouldn't be a giant feature for somebody to add in, because in reality, this is just a button. And if we go back, I'm actually probably open this in a new tab so we can see the difference. So this is just a button. And a really quick way of fixing the new media tab would be, say, having an upload image function. And that's just a button as well in this list. And when you click that, it will ask you what image you want to upload. And then boom, it's added to the page.
Yeah.
Because right now, what happens is when we upload an image, this one, it's just, it generates the link to our S3 bucket and everything. And when I view the preview, it's there. So it's just a case of automatically inserting that URL into the node. So I don't think it's going to be a giant job to do.
Yeah.
The media one might be a little bit more tricky because we'll have lots of different types of media. So the media itself here, let me grab a random code pen. So you see, like, it automatically gets the code pen in. Probably just need different settings depending on the URL. This is, again, stuff I don't want people to think about. We should be able to embed a tweet. We should be able to embed a code pen. We should be able to embed whatever kind of popular things are, and then fall back to an iframe if everything else fails, with a ratio probably the same, 16 by 9, like a normal thumbnail size. But like this, we might want this to be a little bit bigger than it currently is. The code pens or whatever else, maybe it goes a little bit further. We can think of some nice styles on that. Again, I think this is where we just need like a kitchen sink page where we can just see all of the things together on a page to see what it looks like in an article.
Yeah, and I guess so. Code pen, tweets, YouTube, anything else you think?
Code Sandbox,
obvious.
Code Sandbox, Twitch, TikToks, all the stuff that you're on a daily basis.
We're not TikTok.
TikTok's going on. I'm here. I'm literally, my afternoon is being spent making TikToks. I can't wait to start dancing and telling people how to set up your VS Code.
I'm too old for TikTok. I'm not skibbity enough for TikTok.
We'll find out. I don't know. A lot of us, a lot of people are old on TikTok too. Just trying to pretend we fit in.
Right.
But yeah, so that's like, that's why I mean, like, the logic is there. we have already done this stuff. It's just a case of now, how do we create a custom node that will do that thing for us, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess
the image upload is going to be a very easy one, in my opinion, because it's just a case of adding a button. Same as like this one, this send feedback, easiest feature ever, probably, because all it is a link to the GitHub issues. And
yeah, but I guess you were talking about like dragging and dropping and copying and pasting. That
yeah, but that's
effort.
why for certain things, as in the likes of the embed, that will have to show like an input in the middle of the screen. So if we go to the likes of Medium and we write something here, if we put in, say, a video, it says paste the YouTube Vimeo or whatever link here. And that then, if I pasted, let's say if we get this stream here, it automatically adds in the thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I've disabled playback apparently for streams on other platforms. So that's a me issue. So that's just an example anyway of what I meant by that. But whereas like the image upload, yes, they do this, but like they just use a link as well. See that? Just you press it. When you press image, it just uploads straight. It's just a button. It's a standard HTML input button upload, which is handy as well.
Cool. Yeah, so that's clarified a few of the issues I had there. So I guess over the next couple of days, I'll start breaking down that editor into lots of smaller issues, beginner-friendly ones, and yeah, then I guess we should probably focus on bigger next features, the course platform, I guess.
So another thing I should probably hear is probably tag I'll add for myself on the issues is needs designs. Because we have can I get labels? Oh, where is the labels? I always forget where the labels are.
If you click on the issue itself,
I can click a new issue, I think, and it will let me create labels anyway.
Yeah.
Edit labels. Here we go. That'll do. A nice blue. So if you're creating an issue and it's like if somebody opens an issue and we can tag it as needs design, then at least we can go and start, you know, putting together a little sketch of what this stuff looks like or whatever it might need to be.
Yeah, even a wireframe would be helpful for anything.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when we have our component libraries all fixed up. There should be some normal spacing and things like that as well. We can make a kitchen sink of like form layouts and whatever else as well, so that people have the whole examples of what it should look like. That's when I know I have a good design system, is when I can do something on a sketch. I always say, you know, you have good patterns when you can sketch something on like a napkin, and then somebody can go, yeah, I'll be able to build that because the patterns are there and you don't really have to think about the designs.
Yeah, but I guess we don't really have those patterns there yet.
No, but it'll evolve now because that's what we're trying to get here with the UI library that we've added and things like that. And we have a new form. We can say looks like the onboarding form, or looks like the settings page for a form, or follow H1 sizes as a component, you know? So you can tag things and say H1, whatever, But again, some of it will need a little bit of Figma work. Not everything is as straightforward as like a form.
That's just jogged my memory about a specific layout for the editor screen, and as in a nav, so we can override the parent layout with a new layout for.
I did have a design for that somewhere, didn't I?
Did you? I think we said we're going to have it as a save button, publish button. So like we'll have a save icon that is loading on when someone is typing, and it disappears. Sorry, like it'll be there. It'll disappear when they type, and then it will appear and say saved when they finish typing.
Yeah, hold on. We had that. Definitely had a design for this. I'm just going to go look through stuff. Where the hell is this stuff? I make my life so easy by having a million things. Because I originally, these are all like the original designs from doing the site like a year or two ago as well. Like even the sponsor page, probably be revamped. We never got that done, did we? Or we got a start and it was never done. But there's another one like that'd be nice to do as an issue. Like we have the sponsor page. I can link you to this as well. But we have like become a sponsor. I have some really nice new decks on that people could open for sponsorships as well. We had actually a color even picked out for discussions, for doing discussions in the feed. This was my idea on layouts and having like a carbon ad beside it for ourselves for some monetization on it. And even some updates on the tags. See?
Yeah, I guess mixing these in with the new designs as well is kind of confusing. We should probably go.
Well, that's why I'm ignoring. You ignore one. You can't do both at the same time. So that's why I'd stick on until we start changing the designs. I think you might as well continue as expected. Here's actually, and I had thought this out: big heading, small heading. So
okay, will you send this on to me? Share this with me so I can reference this.
And I had, which we are going to change, but I had even old designs for this stuff for a layout of our new stuff. And again, I think I'll keep this layout, just change the background of it basically to be the new theme of stuff. And where was our editor? Yeah, there. We had, I think this was going to be basically like this. Something like that.
Yeah.
Not me in jail, because that's what it looks like now.
Can be arranged.
So I'm looking out here. But then that's what it was, draft saved or whatever, all in here. So, and even look, a replacement for the parallax was there as well. So
yeah, I made an issue out of that about just
because I think this is what we'll do. Change this to something like this, just big block, and have a space for codos or a space for co-doers. So that's a thing at least. And popular topics, sponsor things in here as well. It's probably a useful thing to put in. Tighten up some of those stuff. But yeah, there's a lot in here. Because I remember I did spend a lot of time doing designs. I can use this as well as the base for other things. I think what we might need to do out of this one is just make pages or separate Figma files that we can share with folks. Because this is a bit of a mess. This was my drawing board for a lot of things. Even here, like the sign.
Yeah, well, I guess like for now, when making the issues, I could just like create screenshots out of specific things and paste them into the issue to give people an idea.
Yeah, there's that, and then you can just drag them in, like just for your own instance or for your own knowledge on this stuff. If you start a new Figma basically, and you just copy and paste this, it will paste in. And if people want it, they can come in and have a look. Like this is a great example of, we should probably have this, sign in with email, or we could have GitHub or GitLab here as options, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Put in some nice icons or whatever else on that, and evenly space them or whatever we need to do.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot. There'll be a lot of really good beginner issues here involved in the editor and the onboarding, and oh yeah, so like we've kind of touched on issues that before that I'm kind of like, all right, I can make an issue out of that, but I probably want to get a bit more information from you before I go creating an issue. So for instance, you've mentioned like a change log for the GitHub releases.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like, what exactly would I write in the issue? What are we looking for? Something like that.
I am hoping I can get somebody like Eddie Jowett on for a stream or something, to ask him a couple of questions around something like that on what's the best way to manage releases for an open source project or a changelog for open source projects. Also, just looking at other places like Supabase or other projects that I admire, and seeing how they are handling things. Because this is a learning curve for me as well, because I haven't. This, again, an accidental project where it was meant to be just a website originally with some information on our events, and now it's suddenly getting 15,000 views a month and increasing month on month. So this is where I guess a lot of projects start. It's just an accident that's getting bigger and wilder as we go along.
So yeah, but so basically we're not really ready to make an issue out of that just yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's something I just need to configure and add myself as well. And that's something that anyone else can do anyway, because I need to add release controls and things on the repository. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be on our to-do list though.
Yeah. Again, so another one is the Twitter preview is not working, and you've mentioned this before, but I guess just a bit more clarification so I can create an issue. Well,
that's
in what context are they not working? Or
as in, if you try to share something on Twitter, you don't get the little OG image.
So
the little image preview. So like if you go onto Twitter, oh no, that's Twitch. I forgot it's X now, isn't it?
Yes.
Man, Elon's showing off some good stuff, I bet. Let's take, why even bother with the go to Kodu itself. Articles. Wrote an article yesterday on compound keys. So let's say share to X. So if I share this, you'll see there's no image here, but on every other profile platform there is.
Right. Okay. I don't use X or Twitter, so I'm not really sure what should appear there.
Like a little image, like on every social, on every platform that you share a link on, usually it shows a little image, like in the designs I was showing you here, is usually you will see something like this, because there's a specific image that's generated for every single article.
Okay. So like a title, description, and a Kodu logo kind of thing.
Yeah, like if I go to LinkedIn and I go to say Kodu, see here, put in a link. We get some previews of whatever else. Let's show some more posts. There, the newsletter. See, that's a little preview.
Yeah, of course.
Image.
Right. Oh, and why is that specifically not working for X? I wonder. And that is the issue.
That is now you're asking the right questions. It's an issue only even here. Look, going live with JP right here. It works. So that is the issue.
But right, okay, it works in all other social medias.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think X might have changed how they handle it. So you might need to add more properties or something. I'm not really sure what it is that caused that or doesn't cause that, you know?
Yeah. See, things like this, I could just stick that up as an issue, but I kind of want to understand what the issue is myself before I go.
Yeah, so you can explain to people that ask questions or whatever else as well.
Yeah, that's a good one I can make an issue out of, so I will. Just looking through the other issues. Yeah, there's a few bits and pieces here. Like remove dead redundant packages. Okay, that is a good one. It's always good to remove dead code, but like it's kind of an issue that you nearly rather do yourself to make sure the wrong thing isn't being added or removed.
Yeah, it just needs to be tested when people do it. That's all. Again, remember, we're trying to get people involved. So if somebody wants to take it and have a look at it, even if they do it wrong, so what? We're not here to be Stack Overflow and shit on people for attempting things. We are here to try and help people out, you know? That's the whole point in Kodu as a community and everything else, is to be helpful. So
yeah, I guess the other one is like Docker file can probably be deleted. We're not using the Docker publish. Again, that's one of those ones that like, okay, unintended consequences. If something, whoever's doing that,
that's easy. It's just delete the file. Done.
Right. Okay. So that's not going to have any unintended consequences.
No. The unintended consequences. Right. We might use that file again sometime in the future, but it's gone for now. It's in version control. It shouldn't be sitting there because we're not using it, basically. Same as the SST stuff. Separate issues, because I want them as low-hanging fruit for folks to grab. They are things that we could have done easily and do easily, but it's just a case of getting folks in and involved is a better plan than, you know.
Yeah, so I guess with those two specifically, I can literally say in the issue that you can remove them and don't worry about that. There might be wider consequences because you're confident that there isn't.
Yeah, well, you just describe in the issue that all that needs to be done is to delete. Like, that's the issue: is delete Docker file. Docker file is not
the issue
anywhere.
The issue is not to make sure that there's no unintended consequences, because that.
No.
Yeah, especially if beginner, like.
Yeah, so like it's a brilliant issue for a beginner, because all it means is they can go in, delete it. Whoever gets that first gets a really nice, cheesy little thing. I'm going to be checking whoever grabs that issue. Make sure that they haven't contributed to open source before, whoever grabs that one. And maybe even leave a comment. This is designed for somebody's very first open source contribution, not Hacktoberfest spam.
I did that same one. I left a comment like that on the remove Kodu link from pull request template. Someone took that during the week, and like it was literally taken as soon as I put it up. It was gone in a few hours because it's just a simple delete a line.
We probably need to make sure that people request issues as well. If somebody opens up a pull request without requesting the issue, we will say, request the issue, as in we can't.
Yeah.
You have to be assigned to an issue to open an issue, because we will get spam for folks that are doing this stuff as well.
Right. So that's something I should pretty much add to every issue then, is a little disclaimer. You need to be for beginner friendly. You can't have contributed to open source before, which is pretty much what I said. I did say leave this one for beginners is what I had said, but we'll put more explicit rules that if you've already contributed to open source, to leave this alone. Yeah, because you don't want all them easy ones hoovered up by people that can.
Yeah, again, people like you and Carolina who just want to get your 3 contributions for Hacktoberfest, and you're like,
I thought it was 4.
Excellent. Is it 4? Well, there you go. I never get a chance to contribute anymore, because I'm always just looking at maintaining the issues now, so it's always an interesting one. Okay. I think that's it. I think we're good for today. Some good progress. So we need some designs.
Yeah.
I think put it into the Discord, into our Kodu work as well, of the list of things that I need to create Figmas and screens for, because as you see, like, I have the baseline of all those designs. Now we just need to actually make them and use them.
Cool. Great.
All right. Happy Monday. Can't wait to ruin another week of yours working for Kodu, the dream factory where nightmares are made.
Well, I'm stinking rich though because of it, obviously.
Yeah. Well, all your fans out on the street from all these streams and everything.
Yes, that's why I'm going to contact Virgin Media and tell them if they don't have internet by this time next week, I'm going to set my fans on them. I have literally tens of fans, and they will take Virgin down.
I can't wait to see it.
I know. Right. Cool.
All right. Good luck.
Talk to you. Bye-bye.